I know what I'm talking about.
things.
This is the 27th Armadacon turkey reading. We have a selection of
Crap.
wondrously terrible books to read for you. And we also have in front of us the Turkey box of Doom, which I will occasionally tell people to just dip into. Right, for those of you who've never been to one, has anyone never been to a turkey reading?
No.
Oh, right, there are 3 people. Right. The idea is that we read really bad science fiction until you pay us to stop. The really bad part is that other people can pay us to keep going.
I'm a horrible, sick people.
Horrible, sick and twisted people,
Parry.
and I know who you all are. So, without further ado, we will start with a long-term favourite by Tully Zetford, who isn't a real person, but I can't remember which particular couple of famous authors was Tully Zetford.
Oh no, please no. The boosted man.
There are passages from the wrong.
Number 2 in a mind-spinning new series by Tully Zetford.
Hang on. There was a book that came before that?
I've got the book that comes after it as well. It's just, this has got, it just, you know.
There are 3 books. That's 3 books too many.
No, 5 books too many.
2 in hand per editor.
Yes. One of them was written in English, translated into German, and was only ever printed in German.
Seriously?
This man knows too much.
He's probably got the book.
Forbidden knowledge is
Yeah,
drives
yeah.
you insane.
What do you write under? What's your pen
Same
name?
thing. Right. Sorry about this.
Walter
Rider
Cleave, so
Head.
to get me to change it.
Jumped the last 3 treads of the mobile pathway from the space shuttle to concrete. He was on planet again. He owned dunnage filled with costly clothes and the tribute of the wealthy. His money belt bulged with metal. A delling snugged into his right wrist, and he meant to enjoy himself, or know the reason why. A shocked, incoherent screaming ripped apart the warm afternoon air of Morgone. Over the heads of the passengers in front of him, all abruptly stopped in their tracks. Hook saw a boil of men and women and aliens erupt from the customs house door. The passengers shrieked and began a frightening struggle to regain the pedway and the shuttle. Hook stared past them at the violent, fear-crazed mob dashing madly across the concrete towards the shuttle. These people had been made hideous. They had come from Armadacon. Fungoid growths dripped from their faces and naked bodies, where they had ripped all the clothing away in agony. They oozed.
Suddenly, all my clothes fell off.
Oh, done the best possible taste!
Possible taste!
They kept up a shrill, ululating screaming. Hook saw a man with one eye dangling on a long, bloody white thread, and as the man ran, so the other eye oozed from its socket to swing and sway about his knees.
That's a bleeding long piece of God knows what. I mean, hang on a minute. His eyes go zoink, boink,
Boing.
down his knees.
Well,
Has he got these reels inside his skull?
they're on springs.
20 pieces. 20 pieces.
Not based on my movie.
If somebody counts, I'll collect the money, but I'm not counting, okay? Yeah, I'll
It's all to
collect,
do with
but
the
I'm
length
not
of the
going to
optic
count.
nerve.
We might-
And he obviously sees out of his bum because that's how it
It's got to be. I've heard of talking out your arse, but God.
I don't think they like that one, Fiona.
I don't know why not. I mean,
Because it's pants.
and let's have Cat with Tama, Princess of Mercury.
Oh, it's a bit different.
And greatly underestimated Ray Cummings.
It's in fact a sequel to another book I haven't.
Hang on, I've got this on my Kindle.
Sorry,
That's
that's
the sequel makes it worse. Right, chapter 1, A Night of Horror. The newscaster Newcastle's voice came blaring from the sound grid. And we have it on good authority, the information that the Bolton Flying Cube is almost ready for another trial flight. Dr. Norton Grenfell, when interviewed yesterday, was evasive regarding his plans. But other sources learned that the next inferior conjunction of Mercury and Earth, which occurs in about 2 weeks now, at which time the two planets will again be at their closest points to each other. We are informed that this new concept in interplanetary travel, the Flying Cube, will endeavour to reach Mercury.
You will be assimilated.
Well, exclaimed Rowena, I think they know a lot. They think they know a lot, don't they? Hear him out, I said. The voice went on. There is undoubtedly no further menace from Mercury. The marauders from last fall will not come again. Jack Dean and his wife, Rowena Police, will, of course, be upon the Flying Cube when it makes its adventurous flight. Dean and his wife and Guy Police and the strange girl named
Topcat.
Tama and her brother Tull, who came last fall from Mercury, are still in seclusion. We have as yet been unable to locate us, said Guy with a grin. This fellow has a lordly manner, hasn't he?
It's got a flying cube as well.
Yeah.
No, they've got the Flying Cube. The newscaster doesn't.
Does Paramount know about this?
Keep up, Bobby.
Anyone think he's not actually paying attention anymore? I'm offended. I'm actually offended.
We have these professionals
You always
here.
have a pop quiz at the end of it.
No, pop quiz being the sparkling wine going on to drown all the roses.
Well,
No,
that
no, I
works.
do have the one with the counting in it.
I am the Jack Dean whom the newscaster mentioned. This was in March. In August of the previous year, the world was startled by an attack of Mercurian invaders upon a girls' summer camp in May.
The way they always do.
Some of the girls were abducted, vanished in the night. I met Rowena Police then. She's a very tall girl with a regal aspect of a Nordic queen. I myself am several inches over 6 feet. I think our abnormal statures first attracted us to each other. Rowena's brother Guy had tried to get to the moon 10 years ago, an abortive attempt in a moon rocket. He left the Earth
As
and was
opposed
not
to
heard
the
from again.
Moon and Mars rocket,
Yeah. It was to Mercury the rocket carried him. He lived there all those 10 years, and last August he came back, a captive.
Telemetry that wrong.
Yeah.
Why are we still
Miles,
listening to this?
kilometres.
It's
Is
not
that
Oh,
actually
time
big
to stop.
it's bad, it's just not great.
Time to stop.
Time to stop.
We have a pound to stop. I'm not counting on.
It's all like that.
Oh, that's
Okay, Chris is now going to give us a story of
Giant insects.
a man and his giant praying mantises against the world. So be sympathetic.
That age-old tale.
Isn't it? You know, it's coming in a Disney movie sometime. Anyway.
It wouldn't surprise me actually.
Pixar's Mantis.
One that comes up at the same time. But Woody Allen voicing the one that's terribly angsty.
And a line of praying mantises dancing.
Okay. What were those giant creatures that were crawling out of the cracks
Hang
in
on,
the earth?
I've quit to read it in the style of Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, fuck off!
That's some more money to stop. Come on, I'll put a quid in.
I'll add a pound to that. Can you give me a pound there for my stuff?
Find me in an anger now.
No, absolutely.
That's easy, I can do that. Look at all the giant.
I'm not letting you read the punctuation.
All the footnotes.
No, she's got the footnotes.
I've got the footnotes.
I've got the worrying punctuation.
And interesting.
Oh, you should have a look behind the curtain. I get diffused the box earlier.
What the fuck were those giant creatures crawling out the fucking cracks?
That's the nuclear option.
They were
That's the
some
nuclear option.
They were some kind of strange animals. I mean, where the outside snakes had delved from the deep ground below, being the long buried dens. I mean, fuck, you know, this is half fucking cooked. Half fucking real. But no, snakes had no flailings, no boltings. Honestly, do you not even know what a fucking snake looks like? Bellies, no shapes like those things. Are you just taking the piss? They were insects! Gigantic, elongated things that were pouring from somewhere deep inside the ground that had burst open in the great crevices. They were clambering over each other.
Sorry, I need a jamming doctor.
Jammy! Honestly, how do you lose that many snakes in a crevice in the ground and not fucking know?
They're on that plane. Appears to read it as David Bellamy.
Ooh! I don't know if I could do David Bellamy.
Well, I can do it.
Oh, that's a bit.
Where'd you get up to?
I got up to. They were coming out the crevices and clambering over each other.
They were clambering over each other to escape the sea or wherever else they lived. Really interesting. They must have dwelt beneath the islands for thousands of years. They must be up to the dinosaurs. But bafflingly great. I never expected that. They looked as big as men. No, they were even larger. They were huge green monsters with small front legs that ended in claws and great hind legs that resembled those of kangaroos. Would you believe it? Kangaroos. Those... I lost my place now. Their bellies, which seemed to burden them, must have been over half their weight. And they came all the way from Peru. Dice shook his head again, needing to clear his mind, hoping to make this demonic mirages disappear. But when he looked again, the prehistoric beasts were still there. More of them every moment. They popped out of the quivering ground by the dozens, the hundreds, the thousands, and spitting everywhere. They were beginning to cover the island now. It's pirate now, man.
50p for David Attenborough.
50p for David Attenborough.
Another pound for David Bellamy.
You're stuck with this now. You're goosed.
That will teach you.
Carry on, Dwight shook his head again, needing to clear his mind, hoping to make the demonic mirages disappear. But when he looked again, the prehistoric beasts were still there. More of them every moment. They popped out of the quivering ground by the dozens, the hundreds, the thousands. They were beginning to cover the island now, to scurry over it hungrily, leaping with their hind legs, digging with their clawed front ones, now and then rose into the air and folding enormous green wings from its back and soaring about before dropping to the earth again. Amazing. Dyke refocused his glasses, studied the creatures with his veined wings, their frightful jaws that moved constantly, but what they really needed was some manure. They were praying mantises. But their shape was the only thing they had in common with a miniature variety that ran harmlessly over parts of the United States. They were monsters, weedy green monsters. They looked as if they would eat anything they could catch, chewing it to bits to their enormous jaws. They were even wabbling for each other, taking nips.
I think we can stay.
Oh, no.
I'll do this.
I thought I had
I'll do this,
safely
Sharon.
diffused the turkey box, but unfortunately I was a bit too quick to see, and I'm afraid I left something quite dangerous and deadly in there. No.
Seriously, I wasn't joking when I said it was the nuclear option.
No, the nuclear option is behind the curtain.
Okay, right, yeah.
We'll come to that one later.
Oh, no.
Sam can do this one justice, actually, and then I'll follow it up.
Do it in the voice of William Shatner.
If you want that, give it to Sam. I'll follow it up.
How much will you pay to hear it in William Shatner?
Yes, we need money for
Oh,
for
pound,
somebody
definitely
to-
worth a pound.
A pound.
Yeah, okay. Anybody else?
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, I am.
I'm not going to be able to.
Which means you're going to get
I touched it!
Chuck in some bird to overact.
It's just like the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah, but you have to move in the same direction.
We need the Dodger.
There's a meteor coming towards us, let's move!
Hang on, someone's got to move the wrong way.
Come on everybody, let's move! It's just like the real thing.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
But with better acting. And props.
Yeah. There is a drama game that some groups play called Shatner, where basically you have a normal household activity, you know, like ironing clothes or, you know, washing up or whatever, and then at some random point somebody yells Shatner and you have to turn whatever you're doing up to 11. It's great fun.
But only speak like this.
Yes.
Would you get, oh, you have to speak.
Okay.
You have to.
Where are you running, Kev?
Right.
Sorry,
We can all-
he's
we can all
getting me
stop
some
there.
something to that's all.
Are we ready?
Go for it.
As the first Husky hoodlum stepped through the opening where the hotel door once had been, Gomez tossed a sticky chair across the room at him. Then, ducking low, he spun and dashed toward the cot, while jamming his banknotes back into the pocket of one hand. He snatched a sheet of folded paper out of Anguille's knobbly hand. The first hood, propelled by the legs to the chair, nudging him hard in the chest, stumbled backward towards the second hood, who was still in the shadowy corner outside. Gomez continued in motion, walking backwards across the unmade bed. He yanked the pilot towel, which served as a curtain, went climbing through the paneless window. As he had noticed when he was approaching the Algiers skycab, there was a ped ramp running close to the third floor windows.
50 Peter swap to Dr. McCoy.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
At least a bit fast.
In with this one.
Anybody else?
Yes. Yes.
Damn it.
He jumped free of the room, hitting the range slack ramp on the side. He skidded, saying, "Damn it, Jim! I'm a doctor, not an author." He sat up, rapidly tucked the copy of the unknown soldier letter away, yanking out his shotgun. He scrambled to his feet, glanced back at the window, and said, "God damn it, Spock! You green-blooded bastard!" He was framed in the light, trying to climb over the sill. "Help me! Stand aside so I can get a shot." Stand aside so I can get a shot, the informant screamed. The whole front of him, from the neck to the waist, seemed to explode out into the night. Fragments of flesh, bone, clothing came sprinting across the darkness. Gomez started running away. Gomez started running away from there.
We need the set. 50p to do it as Spock.
A pair to do it as Spock, Scotty and Sulu, every alternative line.
That's vicious.
I'll put a pound in for that as well.
I'll put a pound into that as well. There we go. Sorry, Sam.
Stitched up, I call that.
60p to check.
Alright.
Oh yeah.
Might as well do the whole frickin' set now, you know.
Sam.
Use two.
Book's true.
This is Chekhov's book. It does appear in the play.
Okay. So what, Spock first, okay.
Do them alphabetically.
Oh,
It's bad enough we've got to do all of them.
There's Gomez! Sorry, no. As Gomez jumped along, concentrating on the distance between himself and the Hotel Algiers, he noticed something ahead of him. He noticed something ahead of him on the rainy ramp. Okay, and Spock. Two more hoodlums, remarkably similar to those to his left, were behind Anguile's room. They were standing there. Side by side, wide-legged. Bolting, he took a quick look over his shoulder. Oh my.
Sulu sauce, you're going to say, oh my.
Yeah.
I think that was Sulu.
Yes.
Alright, so back to the top again.
Oh, sorry, I'll put £2 in for Uhura. It was his idea.
To be fair, I understand why did nobody ask for it.
Oh, Mark, that's
Won't be obvious.
The right colour shirt.
Yeah.
Change of dealing.
Another pair of goons were standing 200 yards away to his rear. This ramp was nearly 3 stories up from the street, so going over the railing and dropping down to ground level was especially impractical. That is misspelled. Although there might be able to, and that should say shimmy, should it not? There are 2 N's when it should be an M.
No,
Shinny.
Shitty up a drink pipe.
Shimmy is Ainsley Harriet. Shinny is when you...
Shimmy is...
Shimmy and
That's
shimmy.
a
Alright, yeah, so. Although he might be able to shinny down some of the fretwork. Shinnying while dodging 4 marksmen ain't going to be easy, he reminded himself.
Can he change the laws of physics?
He got to have 30 minutes.
£1 not to make it 30 minutes.
Is that a stopping bit?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Any more stops?
Yeah, definitely stop.
Yeah, good.
Barry,
Hello.
have a seat.
You gotta sit on his lap.
American crab.
Marion,
Yo.
I need some change.
Okay.
Have a seat. This year you get a personal one-on-one reading of Crabs for Human Sacrifice.
Do it in the style of Jack and Nori.
No, but in the style of Brian Blessed.
Pound in for that.
Yeah. I've already put 3 pounds.
I don't care what the pound is.
Another pound for Brian.
These are becoming more fun.
Through her swirling mist, she heard him say, Christ Almighty! say. It took Louise several seconds to adapt, to adjust to the mundane after the ecstatic. A slow awakening to the fact that Brian was no longer physically joined with her. That something behind them had appeared and distracted him. Her first thought was, Christ! Somebody's seen us! She scrambled up, panicking, looking for her cast-off garments. And that was when she saw the big crab! I'm going to tone it down.
Could you do it in the style of John Inman?
No, I think I'll cause too much offence if I do. Anyway. Brian was staring at it in disbelief as it shambled up on the grass out a nearby creek. A sandy-coloured creature fully the size of an adult Labrador dog. As it moved, it clicked. Click, click, clickety-click. Somewhere in the recesses of Louise's mind, something logically said. So that was where the clicking was coming from. She froze, her brain unable to cope. Her boyfriend crouched beside her, still fully aroused, but his erection forgotten.
Apparently, just read it in the style of Lieutenant Gruber.
What was that, Barry? How to stop?
I can't move the wallet!
Both of them just stared at the huge crustacean and thought, it can't be. In my little tank. It's impossible.
Oh, God, stop! For Christ's sake!
It was real and very much alive.
Come on, Barry.
Ridiculous tiny
can't! It's horror! I can't go! I'm broken! I'm not good! For fuck's sake!
When we're free Barry from his misery.
I haven't got the yellow pus-like saliva yet.
Oh!
Nobody bid anything.
You know you can make
Sorry?
stop.
We have 50
Oh, look at fucking good!
We have,
Money.
we have 30p to stop.
50p to carry on.
Another 50 to stop.
Don't expect me to count. Don't look at me. Stops have it. We're stopping. I'm trying to carry on.
I think you're free.
Are we stopping?
It's got to be time for Fiona Richmond, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll have Fiona Richmond from Chris.
Do it as
There was a
Yogi Bear.
specific request.
Jump past it.
And in particular, somebody wanted me to read this, as I have done once before.
In the style of...
Dr. Evil!
No, different this time. In the style of Cupid's stunt.
I have no idea who the fuck that is!
I remember you saying that 2 years ago.
Oh god, no!
Yeah, you have to do a crossing leg thing.
I think the last time I tried to do that, I absolutely broke me.
I could do. Yeah.
There's the pound. There's the pound.
Talk about being stitched up, eh?
And I'll do it instead.
Alright. Yep.
See, when you said earlier on doing Dr. Evil, I was like, I could do that.
Do you trust me?
No.
That was my mistake, really, wasn't it?
Yep.
What a bastard.
Why would
Anyone trust Barry?
Yeah. I'll give it a go. We'll see how far I get. Rubinsky! Oh god.
One word.
Rubinsky knew the look in the eye meant this sap was rising, and they were in for a fun time. All in the best possible taste.
Crush your legs when you do that, darling.
I'll never be able to look at Disney the same way again. She'd never have weightless fun and looked forward immensely to learning his technique.
And suddenly, all my clothes fell off!
It was as he lunged towards her and missed her completely that she realized he had no technique at all. Eventually, Fatty did manage to get to grips with the girl.
Well,
his arms encircled her waist and held her to him as she released her silky chemise from the waistband of her skin-tight trousers. The material filled like a hot air balloon, all in the best possible place.
45p to swap to Sam the American Eagle.
People have no idea who the hell they are.
Never seen the Muppets?
Muppets.
Muppets. Who can do that one?
Well, you were just doing Piggy. We could have
Chris,
done
you
it.
might be let off. There's a volunteer.
Sarah will do that one.
Yeah. You
Come on,
want to do that?
Sarah.
Okay, whatever.
That's more Kermit.
Read with this book, I will.
Have I got the money?
Yeah, the hot air balloon trousers.
I, Sam, the American Eagle, proudly present literature for you. Rubinsky knew the hook in the eye meant that his soup was rising, and they were in it for fun times. She'll never have a... I can't do it, actually. I thought I could do it, but I can't do it. Weightless... I'm not saying that. That's rude. Somebody never say that. You're ruining my childhood.
You were the one who offered to say it.
Well, I didn't know it. This is forward. This is forward. I can't do it.
Oh, all right. I will save everyone from that. Right. I want you to pay careful attention because there will be a quiz when I finish reading this part. This is Planet of Peril by Otis Aldebert Klein, comparable to Edgar Rice Burroughs at his best.
Or worse.
Ow.
So, Grandin now had an army of 223 men, more than enough to guard the doorways.
Oh, here we go.
Though the Sabbats attacked desperately all morning long, he succeeded in keeping them at bay. Gordon was greatly interested, but he had business outskits and boardmates. The structure in which the King and Queen Sabbats of the white community were quartered had but one entrance on the ground floor. There were, however, 4 runways. How many runways are there? 4. All right, good. Guys, paying attention. It's 4 runways connecting with its underground level, which branched out at right angles, leading to other buildings in the community. His first problem, therefore, was to block these runways with his warriors, cutting off the Sabbat rulers from avenues of escape. One of the 4 runways that led directly to the dormitory and storeroom building occupied by Grandin and his men. This was already blocked with guards. Another runway led to the sleeping quarters of the women and children, in connection with which there was another storeroom and no punctuation. The third led to the building in which the women sorted Sabbat eggs and cared for the young infantas, whilst the 4th connected with the building in which the men looked after the larger infantas. Blah, blah, blah. Leaving 50 men to guard the building which was in their possession, Gordon sallied forth at the head of the army. How many men has Gordon got left? Not a lot. He's got 180. Keep count, people.
Oh, okay.
With Oro the Mighty on his right and Falto on his left, he fought at the head of his men for more than an hour before the attacking Sabbats gave way. These retreated to the central building, but Grandin was not ready to attack this. Leaving a guard of 25 men here, they then attacked the building in which the women worked. Here they met with desperate resistance, And when finally they broke into it, they found that the Sabbats had transported all the eggs and young Phantoms to the central building. After leaving a further 25 men to guard this building, they attacked the one in which the larger Phantoms were kept and found it deserted. Now, how many men has got...
30.
Good.
None of these people getting killed in these battles.
Another guard of 25 was posted at this point. And now that all avenues of escape blocked, they were ready to lay siege to the main structure. After posting guards at the various points, the army numbered only 98 men, so he has suffered some losses. How many men has Gordon lost?
15.
This, he soon found, would be a well-nigh endless task, like reading this book. The 2 soldier Sabbats could hold back a regiment here, and though they were cut down time and time again, others rushed in to take their place. The Sabbats had an endless supply of these guys. If only we had a cannon of some sort, thought Grandin. Then he remembered the airship and the Muttorks.
It's not lucky.
Wait for this, you'll love this one. Then he remembered the airship. They found the craft apparently undisturbed. With the tools which he took from one of the drawers in the cab, he removed 3 Muttorks, and binding each to a man with a strip of sacking, he bade them convey them to the ground. He and the others followed with the ammunition, tools, searchlights, and whatever else looked useful. Now, all you role players out there, I want you to remember this line the next time the GM asks you to write down an equipment list. Because you'll get killed.
Whatever else looks useful.
Usually it's gone.
Placing a guard of 25 men around the royal prisoners, how many men has Grandin got left?
73?
I don't know. He had 98, 25.
73, sorry.
73?
73, sorry.
I know I can't count, but it's not that bad.
The earthman, blah, 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 blah,
This is the Atom Chasers in Tibet.
Oh, ye gods!
Is this the one with the pole vault?
Yes.
You may not know, but pole vaulting is an ancient Tibetan sport.
To open the proceedings, Lobsang addressed his followers in a voice like a foghorn, describing the contest and its purpose. Both teams, as he announced them, were greeted with hearty cheers.
Hooray!
Then, comparative silence settled on the crowd as Kit and Dorja mounted their horses and cantered to the starting post. Kit's mare was smaller than Dorja's grey stallion, and Norbu frowned as he heard the fat man increase the odds on Tibet to 3-1.
Ooh, bestiality rules.
A lean-faced man with long, drooping moustaches, who appeared to be Lobsang's chief lieutenant, dropped a white flag. The horses were off. 5 times round the circle of flags was the distance, but at the end of the 4th circuit, Dorja was 10 lengths ahead of Kit, and the result was a foregone conclusion. The mare loaned by Sharong was used to carrying loads, not to racing. Nevertheless, Kit was able to rally her into making a final effort, and Dorja won in the end by only 6 lengths, amid delighted applause. It was first blood to Tibet, and Sandy was taut and nervous as he accompanied Aku out into the arena to begin the pole vault. If he were beaten, the contest would be over. He tested the long bamboo pole, and for a moment experienced panic. It seemed incredible that he should be standing there, in a lonely valley in Tibet, preparing to jump for his friend's freedom and his own. Suddenly he remembered his father and mother in Scotland and felt better. They drew lots, and Aku had the first jump. He was taller than Sandy, but not so compactly built. As he went over the bar at about 8 feet, he was grinning from ear to ear, and it became obvious at once that he was a practiced performer. Sandy took a deep breath, ran up determinedly, and also did the jump with inches to spare. The spectators uttered a sigh of content. This was going to be a real battle. Gradually the bar rose higher, until at last, to thunderous acclaim, both boys cleared 10 feet. It was the best height Sandy had ever done. Kit and Dorja, attending the bar, put it up to nearly 10 feet, 6 inches. The crucial moment had come, and the Tibetans shouted encouragement to both competitors. Aku smiled to Sandy. Then he balanced his pole, took 3 easy paces forward, and began to run. Norbu, Willie, and Jock, crowding close to Lobsang and the Major, got up on their knees to watch. Aku leaped, clinging to his pole like a monkey. His feet flew high, and he was just about to let go of the pole when it touched the bar. The spectators groaned. He's knocked it down, yelled Willie. Hooray! Hooray!
Sportsmanship, boy!
The Major turned to him aghast. He exclaimed, purple cheek, you know this far too well.
Sportsmanship, boy!
Sorry, sir, Willie subsided. Inwardly, of course, the Major was not at all displeased. To Lobsang he murmured a few words of sympathy, but they sounded neither convincing nor sincere. Norbu said, if Sandy does it now, has he won? He most certainly has, replied Major Morrison. And he will, Norbu, he will. He must, said Lobsang with a broad smile. Mr. Kennedy has already lost the horse race, so Sandy must win to bring you level again. The bar was replaced, and once more the Tibetan spectators grew quiet. The fat man was still offering 3-1 on his countrymen. Come on, Sandy, shrieked Willie. Do it this time. Jock was biting his fingernails. Sandy gripped the pole. His great chance had come, and he must make certain not to throw it away. There was a fluttering sensation at the pit of his stomach, but he remembered that the sportsmaster at home was always glad when his pupils were a little nervous. Gives an added kick, was his theory. He glanced at the bar, a white line high above the ground. He started to run. The only sound in the arena was the thud of his bare feet, though somewhere downstream a bird was carolling. Gosh, I can't look, said Willie, covering his face with his hands. Norbu clenched his fists. He muttered,
I'll have to cut you short there. I should put in a couple of pens because we've only got 5 minutes.
Okay.
And read that book that she's got in her hand.
I've got this book in my hand.
Yes.
So,
When you
rather
finish
than
that one,
Lovelace,
please.
I'm going to start with something a little different, which you have heard before. It is Satellite of Pearl by John Carter's Space Detective by Frank Long, who, in all other respects, is an incredibly good writer. He invented the Hens of Tinlos. But John Carstairs and his crew are out on the planet. And they've come back to their spaceship to find their engineer, who is in fact Scottish, unconscious. Paralysis ray, he muttered. But he's going to be alright. He's coming out of it. As he spoke, he slapped Ferguson with such vigour, a welt appeared on the navigator's right cheek, and his head jerked sideways. Again, Carstairs slapped him. He knew that there was no time to waste if Ferguson was to be saved, for the ray jolted the brain like a charge of high explosive, and produced a trance which frequently proved fatal. Easy now, lad. Easy now, lad, Carstairs said. The Scotchman's eyes grew bright, piercing. Lad, is it? Are you forgetting I'm nearly twice your age? The tempest went out of Carstairs' face. Thank God, he breathed. I'm afraid you'd wake up delirious. Delirious? Aye, delirious. I remember now that the rat, he rayed me. Before I could get a good look at him, he rayed me down. Easy, Ferguson, Carstairs warned. You're running a fever. What would you be running if you saw a 2-legged rat hoisting our supplies out of the airlock? Carstairs' jaw corded, and all the colour drained from his face. Are supplies? Ferguson nodded. Aye, son. There were 10 or 12 vacuum crates stacked by the walk. Our food, ammunition, and oxygen refills are gone with the wind. But we're the only people on Io, Carstairs muttered. Obviously bloody not, because somebody stole the supplies, but never mind.
And very gun for the engineer.
Ferguson raised himself on his elbow. Remember what you said yesterday, lad, about the plants? How it looked as though somebody had been botanizing on the tundra of 40. Saying I'm all into photography, are we? Tearing up those disc epiphytes by the roots. For all those who are not acquainted with botany, epiphytes do not have actually roots. Carstairs nodded grimly. Incredible as it was, somebody else was on this Jovian satellite with him. A dangerous maniac. He's done something with molds and there are figures all over the place. And his secretary's fainted. Vera! Are you all right? Vera! Slowly, her eyelids flickered open. Carstairs was kneeling beside her, chafing her wrists and murmuring anxiously. It's my fault, Vera, darling. I should have warned you. Warned me? Darling, are you all right? You were sleeping so peacefully that I just went ahead and spread around the moulage mold without disturbing you. Vera sat up. Things were coming back now. Hideous things that couldn't be explained this side of eternity. All she could get out was, moulage mold? Moulage mold? Sorry, my throat's going a bit. Carstairs nodded. Yes, darling, from Mimas. It would be more correct to call it a Mimas mold, for, of course, it isn't composed of moulage. It's a natural vegetable mold from Saturn's largest satellite. We had to grub around for years in the Saturn field to get it. We did? A specimen arrived at our administration building on the morning of our departure, Carstairs explained. I brought her along intending to discuss it with you. Ah, she did. But so many other things came up. I'll say, said Vera. Vera, it will revolutionize crime detection. It's better than fingerprints or palm prints or breathing rhythm whirls. Breathing rhythm whirls. Blah, 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 blah. No, not, he goes on a bit, and then explains what these things are. No, not prints exactly. Complete three-dimensional viridorns in the Mimas mold. You see, your body does leave a print, but you can't see it. That's been established for a long time. When you stay in one spot for 5 or 6 minutes, you leave a faint infrared impression, a kind of an aura. I'm talking bollocks.
We've noticed.
It's three-dimensional. A complete reproduction of yourself that lingers for hours, occasionally for days. The radiant energies of the protoplasm, you see. I'm not sure I do, said Vera. Not that there's anything else.
Is this the one with the diamond plant?
No, that's actually, I can do a bit from the diamond plant.
We're running short on time.
We're running short on time.
And that line always gets a laugh.
Oh, God.
But I'll put £2 in just for that.
Yes.
Another 50p for that?
Yes, I'll add a pen.
Anybody else?
It is.
What Fiona's looking at, can we just thank Fiona for organising this torture every year?
Yes.
And raises lots and lots of money.
Oh, yes. Find it here. Inspector Maguire, who's sort of the police, the dumb policeman in these stories. I'm sorry, Inspector, but this is serious. This is John Carter speaking. Some very foolish crooks broke into the plant stove and stole our most valuable specimen. What would that be? I'm no mind reader. They stole the diamond-eating carbon plant from Uranus. Oh, come on, more laughs than that.
Read it again.
I've come a long way to do this.
Yeah. Read it again.
They stole the carbon-eating diamond plant from Uranus.
All together now.
One, two, three.
They stole the
Carbon-eating diamond plant from Uranus.
Thank you for yet another year of putting up with the worst we could do. Well, actually, it wasn't the worst we could do, because the worst we could do is still behind that curtain. And I'm planning on leaving it there for some poor bugger to find when we leave the hotel.
Any spare change?
Yes.